എന്റെ ലാസിക്കായി ശസ്ത്രക്രിയയ്ക്ക് ഇപ്പോൾ 1 വർഷമായി. കോണ്ടാക്ട് ലെൻസ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചിരുന്ന കാലത്തേതിന് സമാനമാണ് എന്റെ കാഴ്ചശക്തി, പക്ഷേ നിരവധി പോരായ്മകളുണ്ട്.
It had been a year since his LASIK procedure, and the world still didn't look the way it used to. On sunny days, he couldn't step outside without sunglasses. The pain was sharp, the light unbearable, the headaches relentless. For the man known for destroying million-dollar machines without flinching, this was the one thing he never expected to break him. Cody Detwiler, famous as WhistlinDiesel, had built an empire on chaos. He'd survived a 50-cal ricochet to the forehead, walked away from flaming supercars, and laughed through stunts most people wouldn't dare to imagine. But the one thing that nearly destroyed him wasn't a wreck, a stunt, or an explosion. It was a 10-minute medical procedure. He walked into a Nashville clinic hoping to fix his annoying vision problems. He walked out with what he would later describe as a life-ruining nightmare. The story of how it happened is far darker, far more human, and far more devastating than anyone expected. Before the fame, before the destruction, Cody was just a kid from rural Indiana. Dirt roads, fields, and engines shaped his early years. He grew up with grease on his hands and curiosity in his mind, always pulling things apart just to understand why they worked. When he first uploaded videos online, they weren't flashy productions. They were small glimpses of a young man experimenting with machines. But something in his raw, unfiltered energy resonated with viewers across the internet. Slowly, then suddenly, his audience grew. And once he discovered the power of destruction, real destruction, not staged or faked, his channel exploded. He became the creator who did what others wouldn't dare. He destroyed brand new trucks. He lifted pristine pickups on monstrous Reaper wheels. He filled a Ford F-150 with concrete. He dragged exotic cars through mud pits. He famously obliterated a squatted truck just because the audience hated them. And then there was the Ferrari, the one that caught fire in a dry Texas field, burning into a molten shell as he watched. Every stunt carved his name deeper into YouTube legend. People saw him as invincible, untouchable, unbreakable. Even when a 50-cal round ricocheted and struck him in the forehead, he survived with nothing more than a scar and a grin. Chaos was his trademark. Fear had no place in his vocabulary. But behind the persona was a small, persistent frustration, his vision. Glasses annoyed him. Contacts felt like sand by the end of long shooting days. Dust, heat, wind. The environments he worked in made eyewear a hassle. The solution seemed simple. LASIK. 10 minutes, a quick recovery, perfect vision the next morning. People told him it was painless, fast, risk-free. Compared to the stunts he'd already survived, LASIK didn't even register as a danger. It was just another errand, another routine appointment. So in late 2023, he paid top dollar and signed the paperwork without hesitation. It was supposed to upgrade his life. Instead, it changed it forever. The warning signs appeared before the surgery even properly began. During LASIK, surgeons must use a suction ring to stabilize the cornea. It's a delicate moment, one most surgeons get right on the first try. But according to Cody, the surgeon tried again and again, 5 or 6 times per eye. Each failed attempt pressed into the delicate surface of his cornea, straining tissue that wasn't meant to withstand that kind of repeated stress. Eye specialists who later analyzed his account were stunned. Most would stop after a single failure, maybe 2 at most. Multiple failures increase the risk of inflammation, epithelial damage, and irregular healing. Even before the laser touched him, the procedure had gone off track. But he didn't know that yet. When the flap was finally cut, the hinge felt off. If true, that detail alone could explain almost everything that followed. A misaligned flap distorts the cornea, bending incoming light in unpredictable ways. The result is what experts call higher-order aberrations: halos, starbursts, ghosted double vision, glare, distorted night driving, and light scattering that can turn every lamp into a blinding explosion. For someone whose job depends on seeing clearly through bright skies, camera screens, and headlights, this wasn't just inconvenient, it was career-altering. After the surgery, he was told to rest. He slept for hours, hopeful and excited. But when he woke up and removed the shields, something was wrong. His vision wasn't crisp. It wasn't clear. It was worse. Shapes blurred and split, lights fractured. It was as if the world had turned into a warped reflection of itself. And then came the pain. A burning, grinding sensation every time he blinked. A dryness so severe it felt like sand scraping across his eyes. Days passed, then weeks, and nothing improved. He wore sunglasses constantly, even indoors. Bright lights stabbed into his vision. Floaters drifted endlessly, filling his sight with specks that refused to disappear. For a man who built his identity on being untouchable, the emotional impact was devastating. He couldn't film the way he used to. He couldn't edit without discomfort. Night driving became nearly impossible. His then-girlfriend, now reportedly fiancée, had to help him line up shots he could no longer see clearly. Uploads slowed, fans noticed, rumors spread. And somewhere between the pain, the frustration, and the fear, he felt something he rarely talked about: hopelessness. He admitted he went on antidepressants just to cope. Online trolls accused him of exaggerating, but experts shut that down immediately. His symptoms matched documented medical complications. None of this was imagined. None of it was a stunt. This wasn't a machine he could replace or rebuild. This was his sight. As his video about the ordeal went viral, something unexpected happened. The LASIK industry found itself under scrutiny. People who had been considering the procedure hesitated. Clinics reported a surge of nervous calls. Google searches for LASIK complications spiked. Patients who had suffered similar issues felt validated for the first time. And in 2024, the FDA issued stronger warnings, urging clinics to be more transparent about risks like chronic dry eye, glare, starbursts, and visual disturbances, the exact symptoms Cody described. His story didn't just echo across YouTube. It pushed an entire industry to acknowledge its darker corners. But the personal cost was enormous. Cody tried treatments, specialized drops, consultations, possible flap adjustments. Nothing provided complete relief. His vision, once reliable and sharp, now carried distortions that followed him everywhere. He adapted the only way he knew how. New filming rigs, AI-assisted editing, a quieter approach to chaos, a different rhythm to his creativity. He learned to work around the pain, the sensitivity, the limitations. He survived fire, steel, and ricochets. But this was different. This was a reminder that even the strongest people can be undone by something as thin as a corneal flap, by a decision meant to simplify life, by a risk so small it seemed invisible. And now, a year after the procedure, his relationship with the world is different. Light is something he shields himself from. Brightness is something he negotiates with. Vision is something he fights for every day. Yet he keeps moving, he keeps creating, he keeps adapting. In one quiet post, he wrote, "Chaos finds a way." And maybe that's the truth at the center of his story. Chaos doesn't always explode. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it distorts the light. Sometimes it waits behind a routine decision, ready to rewrite everything. His journey isn't about a stunt gone wrong. It isn't about destruction for entertainment. It's about vulnerability. It's about the realization that not all dangers are loud. Not all risks come with warning signs. And sometimes the smallest choices carry the greatest weight. Cody Detwiler learned that the hard way. And in doing so, he became living proof of a simple, unsettling truth. Some things, once broken, can never be rebuilt, not even by WhistlinDiesel.